Hello, good morning. So today we'll take up IIM Kozhikode's EMAT exam sample paper, which they have uploaded on their website. So we'll take the quant part first, and then if time permits, we'll move on to the other parts also. So let's move on to the first question without wasting any time. Please read it carefully and try to solve it. In the meantime, I will draw my diagram. The base of a right triangle is 12 units. So try to draw a right triangle A, B, C. The question says the base is 12 units. The sides are in arithmetic progression. So what is the exact length of the hypotenuse if its value is greater than 15? So AC is the hypotenuse, it is greater than 15. Basically, it's a layered question. It has two aspects to it. You need to have some knowledge of geometry in order to solve this question, and also knowledge of AP. What is AP? So first I'll tell you what is an AP. If there are a set of numbers, say 2, 4, 6, 8. If you look at it carefully, you will find that 6, if you subtract 6 from 8, you will get 2. If you subtract 4 from 6, you will get 2. Again, here you will get 2. So the gap between any two consecutive numbers is always the same. If there is a series of such numbers, then these numbers are called to be in said to be in AP. It could have been a negative reducing AP also, say 10, 5, 0, -5. Again, this is an AP. Why? Because subtract 0 from 5, 5 from 0, you'll get -5. 5 minus 10, you'll get minus 5. So the second term minus the first term should be always equal to third term minus the second term. Third minus second is -5. Second minus first is also -5. So the difference between two consecutive terms of an AP is always constant. So in this question of how we'll use it, they have mentioned that the sides are in AP. So let us assume the side AB, it it could be 12 plus x also if it is bigger than 12, or it could be 12 minus x also if it is lesser than x. And if this term is 12 plus x, then this term will be 12 plus 2x, because hypotenuse is the largest uh, longest side of a right triangle. This is the right angle here. And so for this value of AB, this can be the hypotenuse. Or for this value of AB, this can be the hypotenuse. There can be two cases. This side is the smallest, this is the second largest, this is the longest. Or BC is the smallest, AB is the second largest, and AC is the largest. In both cases, AC will be the largest. So first try to solve for a case where AB is greater than BC. So by Pythagoras theorem, we can say 12 plus x whole square plus 12 square will be equal to 12 plus 2x whole square. Now, uh, 144 plus x square plus 24x plus 144 will be equal to 144 plus 4x square plus 48x. I just opened the a plus b whole square. So 144 we can cancel out. So here we have 4x square, here we have x square. We take it on the other side, so we get 3x square. 48x minus 24x. We get plus 24x, and this 144 goes on the other side, becomes minus 144 is equal to 0. We can take 3 out, divide both the sides of the equation by 3, and we get x square plus 8x minus 48 is equal to 0. So this is a quadratic equation that we have got. So how do we solve a quadratic equation? We do the same technique of middle term split. X square, 48 would be 16 multiplied by 3, 12 multiplied by 4. 12x minus 4x minus 48 is equal to 0. Take x common, x plus 12 minus 4x plus 12 is equal to 0. X minus 4, x plus 12. So from these two equations, we can get the value of x as 4. Okay. So if x is 4, if we take x as minus 12, then this will become 0. And it says the third side is greater than 15. So that cannot be the case. So if x is 4, that means this side is 12, this side is 16. And if this side is 16, then this side should be 12 plus 8, 20. So this satisfies our options. This is the option 20. This satisfies our conditions that the side AC should be greater than 15 units. If we had taken 12 minus x here, we would have got a value that would be lesser than 12. So what would it be? It would be 8. But for 8 and 12, we'll need to check whether it satisfies the equation or not. So for 8 square would be 64. 64 plus 144 would be 210. So it will be lesser than a square root of 15. Let us try to solve it once. So 12 minus x whole square plus 12 square is equal to 12 plus x whole square. 144 plus x square minus 24x plus 144 is equal to 144 plus 24x plus x square. We can cancel out x square. We can cancel out 144. We are left with 144 is equal to 48x. X is equal to 4. So in both the cases, we get the same value, but the value that satisfies the equation is 20. A is equal to 20. So that is our answer. Okay. I'll rub this. Let's move on to the next one. So the next question is again a layered question. It needs the knowledge of both permutation combinations and geometry. So the question says you have been given 6 line segments and you have to draw triangles out of them. So you join any 3 line segments and you will be able to uh, form a triangle. Suppose there are three line segments like this. So I can just place this one, pick and place it here, and it make it a bit closer to this, and we form a triangle. So we need three line segments to form a triangle. So there are six line segments. So out of six, we have to choose three. We can choose 2, 3, 4. We can choose 2, 3, 5. We can choose 2, 4, 5, like that. So when we have to choose few objects from given objects and the sequence is not important, then we use the concept of combination. So if we have to choose three segments out of six, so what do? We say 6C3. So you'll read about this in details when you do permutation combinations. But for the purpose of solving this question, this is how you choose three things out of six given things when the order of the things is not important. We can choose first side, say two first, three, then after two, and then four. Or we can choose four, three, two. It doesn't matter. It will form the same triangle. So it is 6C3, but there is a trick here. There is a concept of geometry which says sum of two sides of a triangle can never be equal to or lesser than the third side. So sum of two sides is always greater than the third side. So if we suppose we choose a triangle 2, 3 and 7, is the sum of two sides greater than the third? No, it is not. So this triangle cannot be formed. So we have to look for triangles which are not viable because of the problem of two sides, the sum of two sides being lesser than the third. So let us look for the ones which will not be able to form. So 2, 3, 7 is not possible. 2, 3, 6 is also not possible. 2, 3, 5 is also not possible. 3, 4, 7 is also not possible because 3 plus 4 is equal to 7, not greater. 2, 5, 7 is also not possible. 4, 2, 6 is also not possible. So 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5. 2, 3, 7, 2, 5, 7. 2, 4, 7 is also not possible. So that is the exhaustive list, I think. Four triangles with 7 and the smaller numbers, two with 6 and the smaller numbers, and one with 5. So these 7 triangles are not possible. So in this case, our option should be D. So out of 6C3, 7 of them could not be formed because of this anomaly where two sum of two sides is not greater than the third. Okay. So now let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this page has only two questions. Let's move on to the next page. Question 3. Read the question carefully. A woman sold 100 apples at the rate of 740 average rate. So total selling price we can get from here. She sold some at the rate of 3.35 and rest at this. How many? Okay, so we don't know how many apples she sold at 3.35 rupees and how many she sold at 7.85 rupees. So let's assume she sold X apples at the rate of 3.35 rupees. So the total money that she would have received after selling X apples would be X into 3.35, and money received by selling the rest of them would be 100 minus X. This is the number that she would have sold at a price of 7.85, 7.85, and this should be equal to the total money that she has received, which is nothing but the average price multiplied by 100 rupees. Sorry, 100 numbers. So this gives us 3.35x plus 785 minus 7.85x is equal to 740. Okay. So we'll take the x terms on the right side and the numbers on the left side. So 785 minus 740 becomes 45. 7.85 minus 3.35 will give you 4.5x. So it's very straightforward calculation. You will get the value of x as 45 upon 4.5, which is nothing but 10. So she sold 10 apples at the first rate and 90 apples at the second rate. This is the second rate, this is the first rate. The answer is 10 in this case. Okay. Let's I'll rub the board. Let's look at the next one. Question number 4. Yes. The question says a pipe fills a tank of 700 liter capacity at the rate of 40 liters per minute. So A, pipe A fills the tank at the rate of 40 liters per minute and pipe B at the rate of 30 liters per minute. A pipe at the bottom of the tank drains the tank at the rate of 20 liters per minute. If the pipe A is kept open for a minute, then closed, B kept open for a minute and then closed, and then pipe C is kept open for a minute and then closed. So they are being opened and closed one by one, starting with A. So the sequence of opening and closing is A, then B, then C. Okay, so the water being drained by pipe C is 20 liters. So we can say in a time interval of 3 minutes, A will fill in 40 liters, B will fill in 30 liters, and C will drain 20 liters. So that will give us 50 liters of water inside the tank in a span of 3 minutes. First minute, second minute, and third minute. Now, here we have the capacity of the tank as 700 liters. So, what must be coming to your mind? We directly divide 700 by 50 and we'll get the answer. Correct? We can do that, but I will suggest you not to do that because it's a tricky question. We'll proceed very cautiously. So let's not take 500, 700, let's take 600. Divide 600 by 50. You will get 12. So one cycle is of 3 minutes. So in 12 cycles, that means 12 into 3 minutes, 36 minutes, we'll be able to fill the tank up to 600 liters. Now what will happen in the 37th minute? In the 37th minute, the capacity will be 600 plus 70, sorry, the plus 40, the amount of water filled, it will become 640. Again, in the 38th minute, 20 more liters will fill in, 30 more liters, and it will become 670. Now, again, water has to flow out 20 liters. So in the 39th minute, it will go back to 650 liters. What will happen in the 40th minute? In the 40th minute, again 40 liters of water will come in. It will become 690. Now remember, we have to reach at 700. So in order to reach at 700, when the pipe B is opened at the start of 41st minute, it provides 30 liters in 1 minute. Now only 10 liters is required to fill the tank because 690 is already there. So if the tap takes 30 provides 30 liters of water in 1 minute, how much time will it take to provide 10 liters of water? One third of the time. One third of the time. So as we reach 700, our task is done. So in such questions, what we need to do is we need to reach a number which is near the total work that is to be done and then proceed step by step. Had you divided 700 by 50, you would have got 14, and 14 multiplied by 3, because there is a cycle of 3-minute cycle, would be 42, but which is this first choice, and but that is not the answer. The answer is 40 minutes. One third time of a minute to fill in 10 liters. So one third of a minute is 20 seconds. The answer should be 40 minutes, 20 seconds. The choice should be none of these. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question. A manufacturer undertakes to supply 2000 pieces of a particular component at rupees 25 per piece. According to his estimates, even 5% fail the quadri tests, then he makes a profit of 2500. So 2000 pieces at 25 rupees will give him 50,000 rupees. Now he's saying even if 5% fails, so 5% of 2000 would be 1900. So 50% of, sorry, 25 rupees per piece and 1900 pieces will give us 47,500. So this is the money that he realized he will realize even if there is a 5% defect rate, but he says he still earns 25%. So what is the cost price? In order to calculate the cost price, we'll say the cost price is X. X plus X says 25% should be equal to 47,500. So this will become 1 upon 4. We'll take LCM. 5x is equal to 47500. In this case, x will be equal to 47500 upon 5 into 4. So this will come out to 9,500. So the value of x would be 3,800. 38,000. So 38,000 is the cost price, and we have back calculated from the selling price. This is the selling price. At this price, he was expecting to get a profit of 25%. So we back calculated the CP to be 3800. So we have the CP. Now what is the question? It says it, as it turned out, 50% of the components were rejected. So out of total supplied components, out of 2000, 1000 were rejected. So 1000 were rejected. So that means 1000 passed. 1000 passed, and what was the selling price? At 25 rupees. So how much money did he make? 25,000. Now the question is, what is the loss of the manufacturer? So he spent 38,000 in manufacturing those components, and he received only 25,000 because rest of them were defective and were rejected. So there is a clear cut loss of 38,000 minus 25,000, 13,000. So that is your answer, 13,000. Let's move on to the next question. Mr. B can type a document in 3 hours. Mr. Brahmer can do the same job in 4 hours. So typing a document would be, this is a question from the topic time and work. So typing of document would, we would assume it as work. So if Mr. Abhi completes the work in 3 hours, Mr. Abhi in 1 hour will complete one third of the work. Safe to say that. And Mr. Brahmer can complete a job in 4 hours. So he can complete one fourth of the job in 1 hour. So if we both work together, the total work they will do in 1 hour would be 1 upon 3 plus 1 upon 4. So the question asks us, if both work together to finish, in how much time would they approximately take to complete the work? So this is our answer. This is 1 hour's work. If we take the LCM, it will be 7 upon 12. So 7 upon 12 hours, sorry, in 1 hour, they'll complete 7 upon 12th of the total work. So in how much time will the total work be done? 12 upon 7 hours. 12 upon 7 hours is nothing but 1 hour and 5 upon 7 hour. I've converted it to mixed fraction. You can convert 5 upon 7 hour into minutes because the choices are in minutes. 5 into 60 upon 7. 5 upon 5 into 60 upon 7. That will give you 1 hour plus into 5, around 1 hour 43 minutes. So our answer is choice C. Okay. The next question is a pretty straightforward one. If you are familiar with the concept of similarity, you will be able to solve it in less than a minute. All you need to do is draw the diagram. So there are two triangles. There are two triangles, ABC and PQR. So this is the triangle A, B, C, and this is the triangle P, Q, and R. And they're similar triangles. So this, the measure of this angle is 32 degree. The measure of this angle is 65 degrees. And they have asked what is the measure of angle B. So when somebody says two triangles are similar, it is written as triangle ABC is similar to triangle PQR. If two triangles are similar, that means this angle A will be equal to angle P, A will be equal to P, angle B will be equal to angle Q, this angle is equal to this angle, and angle C will be equal to angle R. This is the property of similar triangles. Also, in similar triangles, the ratio of the corresponding sides are also equal. That means AB upon PQ will be equal to BC upon PR will be equal to AC upon, sorry, AB upon PQ will be equal to BC upon QR, not PR, will be equal to AC upon PR. So here we see that if the triangles are similar, they have already given it. So this angle will be 32 degree. This angle will be 65 degree. So in this uh, triangle we see we already have two angles. One is 32 degree, another one is 65 degrees. So we need to find the third angle. So what is the angle sum property of a triangle? Sum of all the three angles will be equal to 180 degree. So 32 degree plus 65 degree plus angle B will be equal to 180 degree. From here you can find out the measure of angle B should be equal to 97, 83 degrees. That is your choice number 1. So the answer should be 1. Okay. So last question of the page. Please spend some time reading it. Says Donald Bradman got out of 0 in the last innings he batted. If he had made just 4 runs before getting out, his test batting average would have been 100. As it is 99.94 only. How many innings did Donald Bradman bat? So we'll assume that Donald Bradman batted for X innings. Total X innings. Okay. So the average, so the sum of all the runs he made, I'm putting a sign of summation. Don't get worried with this. This is when we calculate the mean, we write it as sum of all observations upon total number of observations will give you the average X bar. Okay. So here sum of all innings that he played X upon n innings he played. Let us assume this is n. Upon n is 99.94. That is his average. That has been given to us. Had he scored 4 more runs, so this is the sum of all the runs he scored in till the penultimate innings, and plus 4 if we add and divide again by the same number n, which is the total number of innings that he has played, will give us 100, which is the which is the average he could have gotten to by scoring 4 runs. So from this equation we can say summation of all the xi's plus 4 is equal to 100, and the summation of all the xi's is equal to 100 n minus 4. So this is the value we get. We can use this value in the first equation. So we'll say 100 n minus 4 is equal to 99.94 n. We'll bring n on the left side, take 4 on the other side. So that will give us 100 n minus 99.4 n is 0.06 n will be equal to 4. So n will be equal to 4 upon 0.06. We'll remove the decimals. How do we remove the decimals? We multiply both the numerator and the denominator by the same number, 100. So n will be equal to 400 upon 6. So what does 400 upon 6 come to? It will come to 6 6 is 36, and you're left with 66.666 something. That is almost equal to 67. So 67 is our answer. Let's move on to the next question. So the next question, 1/3 of the passengers of a train got down at a station, but 96 boarded the train in the same station. At the second station, half of the passengers got down, but 12 boarded when the train arrived at the third station. So we can break it down. We can write what happened at the first station, second station, and the third station. So suppose the train was initially carrying X passengers. 1/3 of the passengers got down at the first station. So X by 3 got down, and 2x upon 3 remained in the train. 96 passengers boarded plus 96. So this is the number of passengers that were there in the train when it left the first station. Okay, now move on to the second station. Let's move on to the second station. Half of the passengers got down. So half of this whole thing got down. So I'm writing it here, got down 2x upon 3. Half of 2x upon 3 will be x upon 3, and half of 96 would be 48. These many got down, and these many would be left on the train also, because half got down, half remained on the train, and 12 passengers boarded. So 12 more passengers boarded. So the total passengers in the train when it left station 2 would be this plus 60. Okay. When the train arrived at the third station, there were total 248 passengers. So this number should be equal to 248, because when it reaches station 3, the people who were there when it left station 2 should be the same. So x upon 3 will be equal to 248 minus 60. X will be equal to 248 minus 60 would be 188 multiplied by 3 will give you 564. So total people who were there, total passengers who were there when the train reached the first station, number of passengers train had at the first station. So it must be 564. Choice B. Okay. Read to the next question. So for these types of questions, the best way to solve them is to just to put the options and see which one is satisfying. They are asking for a relationship between A, B, and C. Suppose we put A plus B minus C is equal to 0 in the first equation. the numerator becomes 0. 0 upon a plus b will be 0. That means all of these will also have to be 0. So let's see if they're becoming 0 or not. A plus b minus c upon a plus b. It is given that if we assume that the first choice is correct, then a plus b minus c is given as 0. So it will be 0 upon a plus b, which will be equal to 0. The first part will become 0. Let's see if the second part becomes 0. B plus c minus a upon b plus c. So a plus b minus c is equal to 0. We don't have a plus b plus c here. So we can get the value of c as a plus b. If we take c on the other side, c will be equal to a plus b. Let's put it here. B plus a plus b minus a upon the value of c I am putting as a plus b plus b. This is what the second part becomes, this part. So a will cancel out. It will become 2b upon 2b plus a. So whatever this might come to, it will not be 0. That is for sure. Okay. So this is not the answer, I would say. So, but to me, it is quite clear that A is equal to B is equal to C can be the answer. Suppose we put the value of B as A. So this will become A. C will also become A. So A plus A minus A will become A, and A plus B will become 2A. A upon 2A will become 1 by 2. I'll just do it here once so that it is clear to you. So if I put in the first part A, A plus B minus C upon A plus B, if I put if I put A is equal to B is equal to A as in option 4, first part will become A plus A, and C is also equal to A minus A upon A plus A will become A upon 2A, will be which will be nothing but 1 upon 2. In the second part, if we do the same thing, B plus B minus B upon 2B, same thing would happen. It will become 1 upon 2. If in the third part we do the same thing, it will also be equal to 1 upon 2. So all the three only will be equal if A is equal to B is equal to C. So that should be the answer. If we try to solve these equations, there are three variables, three equations, but it will be a very lengthy process. So we will do it by putting the options that we have. Okay. Okay, so next question says a vendor sells 60% of the apples he had and throws away 15% of the remainder. Next day, he says 50% of the remainder and throws away the rest. Okay, so let's assume the person had 100 apples. This way it will be easier to solve. So out of 100, he sells 60%. That means he sells 60 and throws 15% of remainder. So what remains is 40. 15% of 40 should be equal to 6. So this is sold, this is thrown, and 40 minus 6 is equal to 34 is what remains with him. Next day, 50% of the remainder, 50% of 34 means 17, half of it, throws 50, sells 50%. So this is sold, this is thrown. So thrown is 6 plus 17. Sold is 60 plus 17. So 60 plus 17 makes it 77, and 17 plus 6 makes it 23. So this is sold, this is thrown. Now what is the question? What percentage of apples does the vendor throw? He throws 23%. 23 of 100 is 23%. Okay. Okay. So let's look at the next one. A class leader of a kindergarten class is 6 years old, and the oldest student of the class is 3 years older. Okay. So the leader's age is 6 years. Leader's age is equal to 6 years. Oldest boy's or person's age is 9 years. Oldest student. If the ages of two are excluded, then the average of the remaining students. Okay, so if we exclude everyone, these two, the summation of ages of all the candidates upon 12 should be the average. Students is 1 month less than the average of the whole class. So average of the whole class should be summation of all exercise, means 12 students, age of 12 students plus 6 plus 9. This is the sum of all students upon 14. This is the average. So if we remove these two, the average is 1 month less. So this should be the average. So this is equal to EXI plus 6 plus 9 upon 14 minus 1 upon 12. So the average when two students are removed is 1 month less than the earlier average. This is the earlier average I have removed 1 upon 2 from this. So average of the class they have asked. So if we get summation of xi, we'll be able to get this also. So what do we do here? We take 1 upon 12 on the other side. Summation of xi is upon 12 plus 1 is equal to summation of xi is plus 15 upon 14. Okay. 14 times summation of all x's plus 14 is equal to 12 into summation of all x's plus 12 into 15. We bring this on the LHS, so that gives us 2 times summation of x's is equal to 15 multiplied by 12 would be 180 minus 14. So summation of x's is equal to 180 minus 14 would be 166 divided by 2 would be 83. So summation of all x's is coming out to be 83. So the average of the class they are asking, so 83 plus 2 more students, 9 plus 6 divided by 14 should be the class average. So that would give us 88 plus 10, 98, 98 upon 14 would give us 7. So the average is 7 according to me, but there is no choice as 7. The numbers that they have given is 3, 4, 5, 6. They doesn't seem correct to me. Okay, I'll visit it again. According to me, the answer is 7 years. So according to me, 7 years is the correct answer. If you put the value as 7 years and reconstruct the problem, you will be able to solve it. If you take any of these values, you will not be able to solve it. So 7 years is the correct answer. According to me, all the options are wrong. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The next problem is from coordinate geometry topic. Coordinate geometry is a area where we use distance formula, section formula, all these tools to find out the distance between 2 points on a Cartesian plane. So it's a pretty exhaustive topic. But for the purpose of this solving this question, I'll just tell you what is the distance formula, and that is the concept that will be used to solve this question. So go through the question once. Question number 13. So what is a Cartesian plane? So this is, one second. Oh, okay, so this is what is called a Cartesian plane. When you divide a plane into four parts with imaginary lines, so this axis is called the x-axis and this axis is called the y-axis. All the points on the right side of y-axis are positive, and all the points above the x-axis are also positive for y. Points on the left side of the y-axis are negative. Points this point is called 0 comma 0. The address of this point is 0 comma 0. This is the origin. Okay. Y reduces below x-axis. So the value of y is negative here. X is also negative here. X and y both are positive in the first quadrant. First quadrant is the second quadrant. There is the third quadrant. There is the fourth quadrant. So in this question, we have been given four coordinates. One is 0 comma 0. B is 4 comma 5. That means a point somewhere here. Other one is 9.9. So uh, this is the quadrilateral that will be formed A, B, C, D. This is A, this is B, this is C, and this is D. We need to tell that whether it is a square, a rectangle, rhombus, or a parallelogram. So it's a question basically which tests your knowledge of geometry as well as coordinate geometry. So if the given figure is a square, then both the diagonals must be equal. In case of rectangle also. So first let us check the distance of the diagonals if whether they are equal. So if we check the diagonals, if they are equal, then it might be a square or a rhombus. If they are not equal, then we check the length of the sides. If all four sides are equal, then it is a rhombus. If all four sides are equal, diagonals are also equal, then it's a square. If all four sides are equal, diagonals are not equal, then it's a rhombus. And if opposite sides are equal, then it might be a parallelogram. For that, there is another check that I'll tell you. So you need to calculate AC, distance AC, distance BD, distance AB, BC, CD, and AD. We need to use the distance formula. So the distance formula is given by, suppose we need to calculate AD or AC. The distance formula is given by y2 minus y1 square plus x2 minus x1 whole square. Okay. So y2 minus 1 for C point x and y both are 9 and A both the coordinates are 0. So 9 minus 0 square plus 9 minus 0 square will give us 2 root 9. So that is one of the diagonals. Other diagonal is BD. The coordinates are y2 minus y1, 4 minus 5 minus 1 square plus 5 minus 4, 1 square. It is root 2. So here we see BD and BAC are not equal. Because these are not equal, it cannot be a rectangle, it cannot be a square. These two we cross out. Now it might be a rhombus, it might be a parallelogram. So let's now check the sides, these four sides. So if you check all these, all of them will be equal. So eventually it will come out to be a rhombus. You can do it yourself. Try to find out the sides. All of them will be equal according to me. And how you do it? You use the distance formula. What is the distance formula? Distance between any points, 2 points A and B is given by y2 minus y1 square plus x2 minus x1 square, where y2 is the second number that is given as the coordinates of any point, and the first number is x. So for AC point, the coordinates of C, this is y2 and this is y1. This is x2, this is x1. Whenever there is a address given, coordinate address given in the form of 0, 0, the first one is the x and the second one is the y. Okay.